Hi, this is Kelly with Hero Arts, and today I'll be showing you how I created this fall themed card using some stamps that are not necessarily designed for fall. There are several images in this set that would work for leaves on a fall themed card, but today I'm just going to use the smallest leaf to create a wreath. I've got a piece of watercolor paper that I will be stamping on, and to help me create my wreath, I'm going to trace a circle with a pencil using the Hero Arts Nesting Circle Infinity dies to use as a guide. I need to create several masks to use as I stamp, so I have some Eclipse Art masking tape, which is basically like a giant roll of sticky note paper. So I will just stamp my leaves several times and then trim them out with the scissors. I want the leaves of my wreath to appear as if they are overlapping each other, so I will first start by stamping several leaves all the way around the circle. These will be the leaves that appear to be on top or closest to the eye. Then I will use my mask to cover up those leaves and continue to stamp more leaves all the way around. When I remove the mask, you can see that it looks like the new leaves I have stamped are behind the first ones. This is a very simple technique that can add some dimension to your projects and make them look more realistic. Once I've stamped all the way around and I'm sure my ink is dry, I will erase my pencil guidelines. Now I'm going to color my image using watercolor paints. I have a swatch created here of each color, and I will be using various shades of red, brown, yellow, and orange. I have a thin paintbrush, some water, and a paper towel to clean off my brush. I'm using 2 colors of paint on each leaf to create a gradient of color. I'm putting one color at the bottom of the leaf and the other color at the top of the leaf, then using water to blend them together. It's very important that you are using watercolor paper here, otherwise your colors may not mix very well. Watercolor paper is designed to hold more water and allow for blending. With normal cardstock, the water will soak in too quickly and you won't get the smooth blends of color. Once my image is colored and dry, I will cut it out using a scissors. When trimming, or fussy cutting as some people call it, I find it best to move your paper rather than the scissors. I seem to get a much smoother cut with this method. And for the center of the wreath, I'm going to use a craft knife to cut it out since it's such a tight space for a scissors to move around. And the last step for the wreath is to color the edges with a black brush marker. This helps to cover up any white edges that may be showing from cutting the image out. And it also helps to give the wreath a finished look. Now let's stamp the sentiment on a strip of white cardstock using black ink. I'm going to create a popped up banner with the message, so I'm going to score 2 lines on each side of the sentiment that are 1/4 inch apart. Then zigzag fold them and crease using a bone folder to create the popped up banner. Then I'll trim the banner tails using a scissors. To create even tails, I cut a slit up the middle and then come in from each side and trim at an angle to the center point. I thought it would be fun to add a little metallic gold into the design of the card. So I'm using a gold ink pad to swipe ink across a panel of white cardstock to create light streaks of color. I will also ink up the edges of this piece and also the sentiment banner using this same gold ink. Now that all the elements of the card are finished, it's time to assemble the card. I'm using liquid glue to attach the gold panel to a white card base. Then I'm using some foam adhesive to adhere the wreath and the sentiment banner. This will allow them to pop up from the card and add some dimension. And finally, I'm adding a sprinkling of gold sequins that are adhered with micro glue dots. And that completes the card. I encourage you to think outside of the box and find ways to stretch the use of your stamps. This card shows that all it takes is one small image to create a whole new look. Thanks for watching.